Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I actually admire that you can actually be this fake. And like when the TV comes on, how you can just change. You're the scum of the earth.
You don't doubt to me, I couldn't do it. The odds that I couldn't do it. Look at me now. Lebanon, pound for pound. That's just that. That's it.
Let's get it, baby. Welcome into Over the Octagon podcast. We are your host, Joel, Evan, and Nick, and we are about to recap UFC Vegas 88, one of the most boring cards to date of the year. But fuck it. Happy St. Patrick's Day, boys. If you're new to this show and you've never listened to us before, make sure you subscribe to all of our channels, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Like the fucking videos. Tune in for the next go around because we ain't stopping until we get on top, baby. Let's go. Boys, how we feeling? Happy St. Patty's Day. Anybody drinking Guinness? Or are you drinking water over there, Mercs?
Coke.
Coke Zero, I guess.
Water, man, definitely.
Damn, bunch of sober dudes on St. Patty's Day. Look at us.
Dude, I'm
Oh,
saying,
we're doing it. We're focused. We're locked in this year.
The only Irish shit I got is my Conor McGregor shirt.
Yeah, we had to. You know, it's
I
almost
forgot green.
all right.
So that's all I got. And I
Leave
got
it to Nasty, the guy who represents the Irish community. Fucking not wear green on St. Patrick's Day. What a loser.
Yeah,
Both your shirts are very cool, though. Those are both fucking sick.
I appreciate that.
I'll be honest though, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't really celebrated like a non-American holiday in a while, like St. Patrick's Day or like Cinco de Mayo, or I haven't gone out and like celebrated that shit in a long time. Like I'll do the 4th of July, but I haven't done any like
4th of July. That makes sense.
Well, I mean, that's pretty fucking American.
That's
Exactly.
so American. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna party again for those holidays, but not for a while. I did enough of that.
Yeah, I kind of like, you know, as I got older, it's like one, you got to go out, and if you want to go out to a bar or something or a restaurant, like it's always slam, dude.
Yeah.
You can never get anything. It's just like pointless. It's not even worth it. So, but anyways, boys, yeah, let's get into talking about this fight night. I did say it was pretty boring. It wasn't that bad. It was okay.
Some good finishes.
I was just talking a little bit of shit to kick us off, but it was all right. I mean, there was fights on there that could have you know, been in the early prelims and not on the main card, but
Yeah.
outside of that, you know, we had a few exciting fights even in the prelims and in the early stages of the day. So fights kicked off at 4 when we can kind of go in and talk kind of like not go like high level on it, but just kind of recap some of the performances of the nights and the main card. So the first performer of the night came in the earlier stages of the prelims. Jacqueline Omorim and Corey McKenna. That fight right there was it was pretty entertaining to watch. Omorim came in as the underdog, and she ended up pulling out the submission in the first round twice. It essentially seemed like. I think I tweeted, I was like, man, I haven't seen someone get a double tap out in a while. She got the tap out. The ref kept it going, said, no, keep going. Then she got tapped out again. So it's like, dude, she should have. That first tap was a tap. I mean, if you watch it, it was clear. She was tapping and then stopped because the ref was about to stop it. So she stopped. And then the ref told her to keep going. And then she got subbed out again. So
Yeah, she just cranked that armbar up to a fucking 50.
Dude, she was shaking the shit out of it, dude. I don't know how she even like.
Check those.
That had to hurt, bro. That really had to hurt.
Arm, bro. It was, that was pretty gross.
Corey McKenna's arm's sore today for sure.
So I definitely could see how that was performance of the night. I mean, anytime a dog, you know, beats a favorite should easily be performance of the night, or at least get a bonus for that. There was no finish bonuses, I don't think, of the night or fight of the night bonus. There's just performance of the night.
It makes sense. There really wasn't any like bangers, you know, that like traditionally would deserve of that kind of 50K fight of the night bonus.
Yeah,
so I'm okay with that.
So what performance of the nights? They pay out what, 10K?
I think it's the same. Everybody gets 50.
It was a 50K. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was the same as fight of the night. And then we had Philo getting the big rear naked choke submission win over Oda Osborne. I don't dislike Philo, man. I've seen him put on some great performances against some high level competition. I mean, he single handedly almost beat Muhammad Makayev when they fought against each other in that first round. So I mean, it's like, you know, he has the potential to be like one of those guys that's like, if you're fighting him, you never know what to expect. You could easily lose though, no matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, especially for him to put on that great performance, and he looked good doing it too. So that I'll say that for sure. And then this one I'm just gonna say because it was pretty hilarious. I don't know if you guys remember watching her last fight, but Josiana Nunes versus Chandler. Chelsea Chandler's last fight was when she fought against.
So she got the win on this. This is the girl that went running, like literally sprinting backwards towards the outside of the octagon, right?
Against Norma Dumont. Yeah, she was getting pieced up,
that's
dude,
her?
and she turned around and took off running towards the cage. So she did it again last night.
Yeah.
She did it again?
She did it again, and she ended up winning the fight, but she did it again, and that shit was hilarious, dude. I had to tweet it. I was like, I think she may have the funniest runaway I've ever seen from anyone, bro. The second she starts getting her ass pieced up, dude, she's puts
out of
on her fucking running boots and dips, dude. She turned the corner and took off, bro. I was like, oh, there she goes again. And I thought I may have been like the only ones to catch it. No, I was not. Immediately, Twitter started popping off talking about like, did you see that? She's at it again. She's doing it again. The flash is back. Like, she was gone, dude. That shit was hilarious. But yeah, she did win the fight.
Good for her.
I don't think she looks great doing it, but she won the fight. So it is what it is.
I thought she was fighting Gilbert Burns at 1 second there.
Yeah.
Dude, you know it's fun. You know it's funny, and I'm only gonna say this because my wife said it. But my wife was watching the prelims with me last night, and she literally looked at me and asked, she goes, "Why is that lady fighting a dude?"
I mean,
and I was like, "She's not a dude. That's a woman." She's like, "Oh my god, I thought that was a man the whole time."
Apparently, allegedly,
allegedly for sure.
That came from my wife. So if my wife said it, then she obviously did not think that was a woman. So
Gilbert Burns pulled the Joanna Man of the UFC.
The Joanna Man. That's hilarious. But then again, that's another dog that pulled out the victory. You know, we had a lot of dogs last night come out and win. Surprisingly. So can't beat that. Shout out to her. She probably will not win her next fight. I'm just saying she did not impress me at all.
Yeah, women's bantamweight is such a weird, like,
it is.
It's so bad, dude. That's the Raquel Pennington division. I mean, it's so awful.
Yeah, it's horrible.
That's so. Holly Holm's still ranked at 51 years old over there. So,
not for long. That division's about to really get cranked up.
Well,
with Kayla Harrison coming in and all this stuff.
We'll see. She's like 42. She's 40 as well, dude. She's old.
But she's dominant, though. She's
but she ain't gonna do it for that long.
A brick.
Yeah, that's true. She's in great shape for as old as she is.
Yeah. And then to finish off the prelims, we had Mike Davis and Nathan Levy. Mike Davis, obviously, with that second round arm triangle, which was perfected beautifully at -305. He looked like a -305 in there. So shout out to him for winning that.
We need to see Mike Davis fight more. I don't think he fought at all last year. I think his last fight was in 2022. He didn't fight at all last year. I mean, he's 11-2.
Which is weird, man. I felt like he did fight last year, but then again, now that I think about it, you're right.
Dude, he fights like once a year, and he didn't fight at all last year. But, I mean, he fights really infrequently, but he's so good.
Yeah, he's not bad. He looked really good.
And there's no way that you're going to climb into the rankings and climb the rankings fighting that inconsistently. Like, I guess it depends on what he wants. But
I mean, he only has 2 losses, and one of those losses are against Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, he's 11-2, man. He's a fucking really good. You know, now he's fighting at lightweight. I mean, I don't, he's big, man. He looked awesome last night.
Yeah, so
that was a great submission.
Dude,
5 fights in the UFC.
He lost to a prime Gilbert Burns, and now
he lost. It was his first fight in the UFC, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that being your UFC debut. It's like what they did to, it's like what they did to Baccarat or whatever his name was. Remember they put him up against fucking Umar.
And that was on that's crazy to think, but that was on the prelims when they fought each other.
Yeah. Yep.
Have you ever gone back and done that? Like gone back and looked at fight cards from like 5-6 years ago and seen who was fighting on like early prelims and prelims back in the day? It's kind of wild, man. Just go back and look at that kind of stuff.
I
See
know.
who's fighting on these early prelim fights and stuff, and then you see who's fighting on the main card, and you're like, how the fuck were these people fighting on the main card? Like,
Yeah.
dude,
Well,
let me just read this card to you real quick. I'm gonna go from the main card. I'm just gonna tell you, and you tell me right now if this fight card got released tomorrow in the UFC, the whole entire UFC these fans would be like, fuck this, I'm never watching this shit again.
All right.
The first fight, the headline fight of the night, the main event, Ronaldo Suaza versus Jack Hermanson. That was the main event.
Okay.
Co-main was Greg Hardy versus Dmitry Smiklov. Then it was Alex Oliveira versus Mike Perry, Glover versus Ian Kutalaba, John Lineker versus Corey Sandhagen, Roosevelt Roberts versus Thomas Gifford. That was the main card.
Roosevelt Roberts before he got cut.
So
right?
if you go back through, there's like 5 names that are still in existence to the day on that card.
Yep.
And everyone else.
So what? And that was the main card. So what was the prelims? And what event is this?
This was UFC Fight Night back in 2018.
Okay. So who's on the prelims?
So the prelims, you have Andrei Arlovsky versus Augustus Sakoy, which is still there. He's still fighting.
Yeah.
Carla Esparza versus Verna Jadobroba. She's still fighting.
Yeah,
Gilbert
Carla
Burns
Esparza
versus
too.
Mike Davis. Still fighting. Jim Miller, Jason Gonzalez, still fighting.
Yeah, well, Jim
Angela
Miller's been
Hill.
fighting as long as we've been alive, pretty much, it seems like.
Angela Hill, still fighting. Diego Lima. That was the prelims, okay? Switch that nowadays, and it's a better fight night.
Dude, I was looking at one. I looked at this a couple months ago. UFC 143, Max Holloway, first ever fight in the UFC. Prelims versus Dustin Poirier.
Dustin Poirier,
yeah. I was like, what? I think it might have been both their first fights in the UFC. That's insane.
Where was that at?
Let me see. UFC 43. Las Vegas.
Yeah, I was gonna say
you
probably
know where
Vegas.
They fought
right?
the second time?
Where?
Atlanta.
Really, dude? Dustin's 2-0 against Max.
Yeah. Dustin's 2-0 against somebody else too.
Conor McGregor, happy Ireland Day.
Conor McGregor.
Damn. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that Mike Davis, man, what are you doing, bro? Fight more, bro. We want to see you. Come on, dude. Get it together.
Yeah, he looked great.
You're still in the fucking prelims, dude. You've been in the UFC for 5 years, man. Let's get on that main card. Come on.
Right.
You're better than
Yes,
that.
boy.
You're better too. You should be fighting on
Definitely
the main
better than that.
on a fucking UFC fight night that was garbage. And then he should easily be fighting over Bryan Barberena. Come on.
Yeah.
So it started out the night, Bryan Barberena, Gerald Mershart. Again, Bryan Barberena loses. It's we're getting to the point now where it's like, dude, how many times in a row are you gonna lose? This may be the end of the era. He's on a 4-fight skid. Probably likely gonna get cut from the UFC. Hate to say it, he's been around forever, but come on, bud. You gotta at least win one out of 4.
Mearshart had so much size on him, dude. Barberena looked so small at 185 compared to Mearshart last night, and the fight showed it because he just got fucking manhandled on the ground.
I mean, Mearshart's not even that good either, dude. I mean, he's lost plenty of fights. He's 36-17. He's fought fucking forever too.
Yeah, so these are 2 veterans. They were hoping for a war. 2 vets.
And it didn't even get performance of the night over 2 fucking chicks. Come on, bro.
Right.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Veterans, get it together. But then the second fight of the night on the main card, this one was pretty legit. You had Macy Chiasson versus Pani Kanzad. I don't know if her name's Pani, but
Kanzad.
Kanzad. And then Chiasson getting that victory via submission in the first round too. Made quick work of her, and then definitely deserved performance of the night. To be honest, I thought she looked really good. Right as she got in there, she just looked like she was ready to win. And I mean, her last 2 losses are against, her last 3 losses, are against the champ, the person who fought for the belt 2 times ago, and then someone who's in the top 6, I think.
So give us those names. Give us the losses for people that are unfamiliar.
Her last
women's
3 losses
bantamweight division.
Yep. So her last 3 losses before this fight was against Irene Aldana.
Yep.
So she just
Who
fought
lost to
Amanda Nunes.
Nunes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or she didn't just, but she did fight for the belt at one time. Norma Dumont, who
Yep.
is a top 10 bantamweight. And then Raquel Pennington, who's the champ. So it's like her last 3 fights, her last 3 losses are against top 5 contenders. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I still think this division doesn't even have a champion. This division sucks. It's so bad. It's so bad, bro. I don't
now
care.
I will say this: the
Until
fact
there's
that
a
it does suck,
dude, until there's a championship fight for this division that is not the worst fucking MMA fight I've ever seen, I'll put respect on the women's bantamweight division. But until then, no, Raquel Pennington literally ruined the UFC women's bantamweight division for me until further notice.
I had weird thoughts.
I agree with you on that.
Awful.
But I will say this: not about Raquel Pennington or the champion or the belt. When divisions are so down bad like that, there's so many windows and opportunities for any random person to come in there and be a superstar or be that next person and go on like a fucking spree. I mean, when you got people who are not that great or not that good, like if I was anybody in the weight class below and I was in the top 5, I would put on fucking 10 pounds, go up and be a champion. Like, what are we doing here, bro?
Right.
Like, or if I was a weight, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, they got to figure that one out, but they definitely got to do better in that bantamweight division or it's going to be staled and it's going to end up getting cut from the fucking division again. So,
yeah.
And then the next fight on the card, Mr. Prospect Killer himself, C-Rod versus Isaac Bulgarian, probably the most controversial fight on the card versus for the judges. To be fair, I had C-Rod winning 1.5 rounds, and it could have easily been a draw. I think he won the second half of the second round, and I think he won the third round. And I think Bulgarian won the first round and half of the second round. So that being said, I don't hate the decision because I feel like who said it best? I can't remember who said this, but it was like if the judges based it off of how a fight should be, like if that fight would have went 5 rounds or any longer, Christian Rodriguez would have killed him.
Right.
Like Bulgarian was done, dude. He was out of breath. He could barely fucking do anything. Like, he might have came out strong, but he did not finish strong. And to me, I feel like that weighs higher in the eyes of how judging should be versus just judging it by the rounds. Like,
well,
that
it's not that way.
I know, but I feel like it should be. And I feel like, because of that, they may have gave him a 10-8 round in that last round, which
that was a 10-8 round. He fucking dominated him.
I know.
Bulgarian didn't do a single thing in the third round but get beat up, and he was gassed all the time. There was a visual that the commentators made a note of. He was literally on the ground on all fours, just
doing like this,
covering his head, and Christian Rodriguez was standing up 2 steps away from him, and they're like, "Oh, that's not a good." He was cooked.
Yep.
And again, this is one of those things, like, typically the fighters with the wrestling base really hate this, but it's just the fucking truth. Like, Bulgarian had 7 takedowns, but a lot with no damage. So, okay, you know what I mean? But like, it doesn't weigh the same. Damage is the number one criteria in judging. If you can take somebody down 7 times, but if they get back up every time and you really don't do any damage with the takedown, I mean, what do we get? What are we scoring? How do you expect to win that? And then the way Christian Rodriguez dominated the third round, I think it was a 10-9, a 10-9, and a 10-8. Or, I didn't get to see the scorecards, but yeah, I had Rodriguez winning 2 and 3. Bulgarian winning 1, but I don't know. The wrestling thing, damage comes first.
I would really love to see what's next for him, though. I mean, the featherweight division right now is kind of like he could easily jump in there in the top 15 and like that 15 to 10 spot and put on a really good fight. Like, his last 3 wins are against Cameron Simon, Raul Rojas Jr., and then now his recent win, or last night, Bulgarian. Yeah. So, I mean, that's 3 prospects, 3 wins by C-Rod.
There's
Yep.
some room.
He can show that he can last. If you think you have the capacity to go 3 rounds, just know Christian Rodriguez has just as much, if not more, to go 3 rounds. I mean, he did get beat up in the first round, and he did get beat up in the first half of the second, but he ended up pulling it out ultimately. So, like, I want to see what's next for him. Like, give
Edson
him
Barbosa.
like,
Barbosa would be good.
any of that top 10 and above. I think would be a good fight for him. Just
Who
to
did
kind
you
of
just say, Nick?
I mean, he's 11-1, dude.
Edson Barbosa would be a great fight, man.
Yeah, I like that. Give him a veteran.
Yeah.
So you've given him like these prospects coming up. Give him a veteran.
Who's a beast?
Yeah, I mean, he's
still,
11-1, dude. He's got 1 loss on his record. I mean, any 11-1 person that's on a 3-fight winning streak, if you said those names right there, they're in the top 15, which is so crazy, and that just shows you how fucking crazy that featherweight division is. That even Christian Rodriguez isn't in the top 15, and he's only had 1 loss in his whole career, and he's beat 3 of the most promising, or some of the most promising prospects in that division.
Yeah, I think you need to give him a top 15 opponent and a veteran. So he's beating up on these guys, and he's beating them with cardio, and he's like, he beat Raul Rodriguez just with
cardio,
and wrestling, and he just outsmarted him, kind of like Raul Rodriguez made mistakes and he took advantage of it. Last night against Bulgarian, he just beat him with the cardio and outlasted him. I think you need to give him a guy that's done this and been in these top 15 ranked fights for a long time and test him that way. That's the test. Enough with the fucking prospects that have this hype and whatever that are unproven. Give him somebody that's proven, that's been there, done that, fought the best in the world, and still in the top 15 in the UFC in one of the best divisions, and see how he fares.
I mean, and for a minute there, dude, he was getting a lot of bad rap too, because he was missing weight. Like he had a bunch of fights canceled for missing weight and things like that. Like,
well,
he was a guy people were pissed off at and didn't like because he was never able to make the weight.
Right. Well, there's something definitely to be said for that, and that's probably why he is where he is still now.
That's true.
Now, if he's got that dialed in and locked in, now we're talking. Let's get to fucking work.
Yeah, give my boy a ranking fight. Let's go.
So there's your first underdog on the main card, cashing, and then we move right into the second dog on the card, cashing, the biggest underdog on the card.
Yeah.
Ovin St. Pruix, Mr. 40-year-old himself, coming in there and fucking beating Kennedy Nzechukwu, or however you fucking say his last name. I'm gonna butcher any last name, so fuck it. But dude, Kennedy did not look good, bro. He had this weird fucking way to him last night that did not impress me at all, man.
He looked slow. He looked hesitant. They both did, though, to be fair.
Really good, though, compared to
compared to what?
Compared to his past fights, like recently.
I guess. I wouldn't be impressed with either one of these guys.
Than he has in the past. Like,
he's at the end.
But
he's at the end of his career. Like, he doesn't really have much more. They both look like shit, in my opinion.
I agree, Murky. Fuck.
There was this hesitant. The first 2 rounds, they were just trading 1 for 1. You hit me, then I hit you. Then we bounce around. Then you hit me, then I hit you. Then we bounce around. Then you hit me, then I hit you. It's like, fuck, man. Like, Jesus Christ, somebody do something here. Does anybody want to win this fight, or are we just gonna fucking play dick tickled for 3 rounds? Like, what's going on?
I'll say, yeah, you're right on that. But the fact that he was a plus 380 underdog.
Yeah.
Well, that's just impressive in itself. So,
is it more impressive that he won the fight or that Kennedy lost? Because, like, in my opinion,
more impressive that he won the fight. In my opinion,
I don't think so. They both look like shit. Like, if he came out and he like fucking just beat the shit out of him, then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he just whooped the dude that was really highly favored. Kennedy came out and like looked super hesitant, barely threw. I don't know.
He ate some heavy fucking punches, dude.
They're fucking light heavyweight, dude. They're 205. Every punch is a heavy punch.
Like, that's
what are we talking about?
I don't even know how he didn't get knocked.
This was like arguably the worst fight on this entire card. This shit was gay.
I'm glad I
cut them both.
Fight, so I was like, And Kennedy had some hype behind him, but then he's coming off a knockout loss too. So
I
he
would
fought
not say
scared.
cut OSP simply because he won the fight and he was the biggest dog on the card. Like that, fuck it, dude. I mean, if you win,
He's
and you're that
40
big of a
years
dog,
old, dude.
I know that, and he's gonna cut himself, obviously, because he's a
That's my
fucking
point.
of
That's
age,
my point.
but
What are we talking
still,
about
though,
right
he
now?
won the fight. It doesn't matter. He won the
Who
fight.
cares? How does it? How
No one
is this
cares, but
fight-
I'm just
right,
saying
that's my
he
point.
won the
What are we
fight.
talking about? This
Damn,
is the
Murk, you didn't even
worst
let me
fight on
fucking
the
say
fucking
anything
card,
about it. He
dude.
won the fight. It wasn't the worst fight on the card, but he did win the fight.
Pretty
and
close.
He was the biggest fucking dog on the card, which is impressive to me. So gets my credit. And then now we get into this bullshit. Bryan Battle versus Ass Loose.
Yeah, Anjay Lusa.
Yeah, Anjay, my pussy's loose.
Do you guys like Bryan Battle? Are you guys fans of him?
I do
I
now.
do fucking now.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Talk to me.
I mean,
Tell
I
me.
can't lie, man. For watching of his past few fights, I mean, he's very calm. He's very collected. I like him. Did I think he was like, holy shit, impressive? Not like, yeah, he's good, but his fighting style is very different. He's just very calm when he fights. But this fight, he was beating the shit out of him, dude. And this guy took the coward way out. And if anybody doesn't think so, you're just wrong. Eye poke was a bare minimum eye poke at best. And then the fact that he says, I can't see. And then when he starts getting called a pussy or a bitch, then he wants to say, I'll fucking beat you up. I'll fight you now. Like, and then Bryan Battle says, like, what? You want to fight me now, but 2 seconds ago you couldn't see? Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Cut this dude from the UFC, dude.
Yeah.
And get him out of here.
Yeah, I got no respect for that. When I watched that live last night, I was really excited for this fight, to see Bryan Battle do work. He was doing work. He looked fantastic. Cardio is awesome. It looked like he was pushing the pace a little bit more. I mean, he did just have a first round knockout in 14 seconds back at UFC Charlotte.
That dude's a beast that knocked him out, man. And I forget his name. He's like some Russian or what the fuck is that?
Well, remember that fight? The guy came in fucking throwing haymakers, just throwing crazy wild punches.
Yeah, he got Bryan Battle back up against the cage, and Battle just chin checked his ass. Yeah, but so I was excited, but dude, these welterweights, these welterweights that are 5'8" tall and are built like little bowling balls, I you don't have the attributes, man. Like you're going against these guys that are not small. And they have fucking power. You just don't have the attributes to compete with them. And any good fighter that's able to maintain the distance is just going to beat you up the whole time. And that's what Bryan Battle was starting to do last night to Lusa. And I think Lusa's game plan was to wrestle, which would have been smart, right? And he tried in the first round, and Bryan Battle easily shook him off. And I just think he was stronger than Lusa thought. Battle was stronger than Lusa thought he was going to be. He knew his game plan wasn't going to work. All the striking exchanges, he was losing. He was losing everywhere. He knew he was going to lose the fight. It was a legitimate eye poke. He took a thumb in the eye. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the actual eye poke itself, but I even thought, and I was talking to, and I was tweeting at Joe Giannetti last night when he was watching it too. I immediately thought that he was playing it up before they even called the fight. Just the way that he was acting, his eye wasn't red. There was no mark on his eye. There was, they gave him a cold press. They said, "Oh, keep that on your eye," whatever, all this stuff. And he was like, I felt immediately, I'm like, oh, he's he's really playing this shit up. And I'm thinking, well, maybe he's just tired, right? Like he's trying to take the whole 5 minutes. He's tired. And then, I don't know. Yeah, I can't see. That's going to cancel the fight. They're going to call the fight as soon as you say that. And then when they declared a no contest, you could tell, he was standing there like a statue, and then they kind of turned to each other, and I was watching them oh shit, what, are they going to shake hands? And then Bryan Battle was That was a fucking pussy move.
Yeah,
You know what you
said
did.
what's up.
You know what you did.
Did any of you guys
My
get a chance?
my favorite thing he said, he was like, "I was whooping your ass."
Yeah,
I was whooping your ass.
He was.
He was whooping his ass.
What did Michael Bisping say to him? Do you guys know what it was?
I don't know,
No.
but that shit was funny. Michael Bisping got caught in 4K again.
He's getting caught a
Yeah.
lot lately, man.
He's getting caught in 4K, dude.
Michael Bisping's been getting caught forever since the beginning of time,
shit's
since
hilarious.
the internet, dude.
I think
Michael
he went up
Bisping-
to him and was like,
Yeah,
"Dude,
that was
you were beating
bullshit.
his ass. That was
Yeah.
bullshit." And
Yeah,
Brian
he's a
Battle started
pussy.
laughing, and he was like, "Yo, back up, camera, back up."
Yeah, somebody's gotta have
So-
the lip read for that.
I think we
Yeah.
did Kevin Holland versus Brian Battle. Thoughts?
Wow.
Yeah, I like it.
Damn, that's good. Because Kevin Holland, man, you got to do something.
Yeah, I mean Kevin Holland's right on the cusp of the top 15 now after losing the MVP. I think, I hope anyway that the UFC can look at that fight last night and go, okay, Brian Battle's better than this.
Yeah,
Like
I
we
agree.
can give it a fucking no contest all we want, but that was going to be a win. I mean, I guess you can never say for sure, right? Everybody's got a punching chance, but I mean, Luce is not in his class. That was obvious. So I think you got to give Brian Battle, you got to start edging that top 15, and that'd be an exciting fight. Him versus Kevin Holland.
I agree.
Yeah. And Neil Magny needs a fight soon too. So
Well,
That's
Neil
true.
Magny just got to win, bro. Let Neil Magny marinate in that
You
shit.
trying to
dude.
get him to
Don't try to
marinate?
kill the motherfucker. Golly, man.
I mean, shit.
Well, man, live. Let him marinate
Play your
in that big
role.
win, bro.
Yeah, play your role. I
Play
like
a
it.
role.
Play your role, bro. Let him marinate in that. And then to finish off the freaking night, Ty Bam Bam Tuivasa on a fucking skid versus Marcin Tybura. Tybura comes out, hangs with him, ends up getting the submission in the deep waters of the first round. I don't know what to say about this one, boys, but just kind of what do you think is next for Tai Tuivasa? I've been reading or thinking a lot on this myself, and I saw somebody say bare knuckle fighting.
That's it. I was about to say that. Yeah,
And I think that may be his best bet.
He's fucking perfect for that.
Wow.
He is perfect for it. He's a brawler.
Here's the problem with Tai Tuivasa and the UFC heavyweight division. The heavyweight division used to be full of guys, and still is partly full of guys like Tai Tuivasa.
Mm-hmm.
Now things are shifted. These bigger guys are way more skilled. It's not like it used to be where you're just gonna stand and bang and who gets knocked out first type deal. You got these guys that have wrestling, that have jiu-jitsu at fucking 260 pounds.
It's nuts.
And Tai Tuivasa, I don't know how he doesn't at this point in his career, but like he got on the ground, brother, and just like, I mean,
I don't know how he wasn't dead, bro.
Yeah.
Did you see how many punches how many punches he took in the face on the ground and somehow didn't get knocked out? That shit impressed the hell out of me, dude. I'm sitting there like, how is this dude not dead? Dude, Tybura was beating the shit out of his face on the ground.
Yeah, bro. I was more. He really had that choke locked in for a long time.
Yeah.
Stopped it. It was deep, but he was still breathing. So there must have been some kind of space there. It wasn't super tight until it was,
I mean, Tuivasa was like, I guess he goes out on his sword, which I don't hate that.
Yeah,
I think it's stupid on some ends? Yeah, because I mean, obviously, dude, if you're willing to risk I guess you get in there knowing what you're getting into. But yeah, he held out for it, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what's next for him. Bare knuckle would be sick. How about we do this, boys? Let's put him in bare knuckle. Let's let bare knuckle fighting re-sign Greg Hardy, and let that be his first fight in bare knuckle.
Yeah, just have him end Greg Hardy again.
Yeah, let's just finish Greg Hardy.
He's going back to the
he
WWE.
He landed.
Umaga.
Umaga, send him back to the WWE. Tai Tuivasa. He would be he would honestly be a good WWE.
Imagine
wrestler.
a frog splash from him, dude.
Yeah, he's got great personality for it.
He does. He's a shoey guy. Imagine everybody in the WWE doing shoeys while he's walking out.
Look, we're onto something, boys.
I think we may have
call
Triple
H.
Umaga.
With the reincarnated version of Umaga.
Dude, that's him.
I like it.
But yeah, boys, that was UFC Fight Night Vegas 88. If you're this far in the video, we appreciate it. Like we said in the original, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're not, show the boys some love. Like I said, we got a lot of things coming, so keep posted. I know we got to get through this 3 or 4 fight night skid to get to UFC 300, but we just got to hold out, boys. Hold out strong, and we'll get through it. Just we'll keep y'all entertained in the meantime. So we'll catch y'all on the next episode. Next episode, stay tuned. We'll be doing announcements for this past week and preview for this UFC Vegas 89 coming up. So
Rebus
stay
versus
tuned.
Namajunas.
Stay tuned, and don't forget to skip over to the next video and do the same things as we've said before. We'll catch y'all on the next one.